First of all, good morning, y'all. I was just going to go back to sleep until I kept seeing these videos about Latto being pregnant. Let me say this. It ain't even about none of y'all and what y'all talking about. This ain't even about him being married. That ain't even what the issue is. It's the issue of how this relationship is going to change once that baby get here. See, this is the one thing that we don't talk about, that we as women that have children need to have a very serious conversation with these young girls about. What's going to happen if you get pregnant? Is this man going to change and look at you differently than he did before you got pregnant? Let me tell you something. A lot of men look at women differently when they have children because they look at them more like a mother than a girlfriend, than a wife. They don't look at you the same once you have kids, because now you're a mother. Now, there are some men that think women are beautiful when they're pregnant, and they love their wife while she's and raise the kids, and live happily ever after. Now, what defines marriage? I'm just trying to understand. Is marriage about the sheet of paper, or is it about the emotional connection of it all? Because the last time I checked, the only reason that piece of paper even exists so a man just can't up and leave his family and leave them with nothing, and that woman got to raise them kids by themselves. That's what the difference is. So what's the difference between a girlfriend marriage and a wife marriage? A sheet of paper. That's it. Sheet of paper. There are women that have been with their man for 20-something years and are married without that sheet of paper because they have kids. Marriage is children. I've been saying that for decades, and y'all act like I don't be knowing when I speak on when I say that. That sheet of paper does not determine whether y'all gonna stay together or not, because there's many people right now that are getting divorced. That just shows you that sheet of paper is just a protection. That is it. It has nothing to do with everything else that comes with marriage. Marriage comes with love. What is it? To love, honor, and cherish in sickness and health, forsaking all others, doing only unto that person. Ain't we forgetting some things? Ain't we forgetting fidelity? Ain't we forgetting respect? Aren't we forgetting communication? At the end of the day, 21 Savage's wife liked the post, which means they are not together. We don't know how long they've been separated, because it could have been that these two basically separated long before Latto came into the picture. Him and his wife could have been separated. But then again, y'all forgetting one very important part. Green card. Green card. So at the end of the day, y'all remember that he almost got deported and that he needed a green card, and him and that girl got married. Now, I'm not saying he didn't love that girl. I'm not saying that they didn't have a real marriage. But people fall apart. And a lot of people are not going to stay together. Kids or no kids, they're not going to stay together. And the people that are the victims in this are not even Latto, it's the children. It's the children. These men keep running around and having unprotected sex, knowing you can get somebody pregnant. So who's to say these two did not plan this baby? Because all this time that Latto has not had any kids, I don't think that this baby was unplanned. I think this baby was absolutely planned. And who's to say that him and his wife ain't divorced? We don't know. At the end of the day, who's to say that 21 Savage and his wife have been apart long before he met Latto? Who's to say that the reason that they kept it private wasn't because he was married? Because it ain't none of y'all business. It ain't none of y'all business. None of y'all ain't got the right to judge the situation, considering the majority of y'all who are talking actually got kids. and actually are single mothers. So you can't do that. It does not matter whether that man is married or whether that man is single. The point is, a lot of y'all are single mothers. So at the end of the day, you ain't no better. Because you slept with a man and had a one night stand and got pregnant. Some of y'all be letting these men be going in y'all raw and then you getting pregnant. Unlike some of us who actually the condoms broke and the birth control didn't work. That's a whole different conversation. When both parties were responsible and it happened. If you used a condom and a condom broke or the condom got stuck or whatever the case may be, or you was on birth control and using condoms and the birth control was defective, that's a different situation. But even then, it don't make it right. Y'all up here having sex knowing that there's a possibility that if you get pregnant, this man ain't going to stay with you. That he's going to look at you differently when you have a child. So yeah, these men will go up in you, but then the minute you get pregnant, it's your responsibility. Even though he's the one that ski. Oh, ski. But okay. I digress. At the end of the day, like I said, this girl made a choice. And there are consequences, repercussions, and karma to her actions. So again, until she finally talks about this and just admit that it is 21 Savage, and until 21 Savage finally come out and say, him and my wife, me and her have been together in years. When I met Latto, eventually they'll talk about it. And then y'all still gonna have something to say about it. But just because somebody is married on paper does not mean they're married in the eyes of God. Jesus. Just because you won't have a whole entire wedding does not mean in the eyes of God that you were married. Because how do you know that God chose this person for you? You chose that person. God did not choose that person. Whatever your religious spirituality is, didn't choose that person. In some religions, their parents choose that man. God didn't choose that man. So like I said, I'm so confused of what y'all think marriage is. Marriage is not that sheet of paper. Marriage is not that wedding day. Marriage is two people that can be together for 20 years. Still be together, raise their kids, and be together for 50 years to death do us part. That is marriage. Marriage is y'all don't, no matter what, besides infidelity, abandonment, abuse, and that person not being a believer and not changing their way, then that's the only way. If you can withstand the period that you go through of raising kids, and you can make it through that and still stay together, if you can make it through all the rock bottoms and everything, all the challenges, that's marriage. Marriage is if there's nothing wrong and you ain't the person that's impacting and affecting the marriage, and y'all doing everything the right way, that is the godly way or whatever your religion spirituality is, that's marriage. Marriage is not sex. I don't know why y'all believe that. Marriage is not romantic. Because it ain't. Marriage is you have a friendship and y'all understand that you have to adjust through raising kids for 18 years. You have to adjust when it comes to really understanding what evenly yoked means, to love, to honor, to cherish, and sickness and health, fidelity, all that stuff. So at the end of the day, what makes y'all better when the majority of y'all got kids and you ain't married? Ain't never been married. At the end of the day, whatever go on in their situation is between him and her and the woman that he was married to. And only God can judge that. It is not for me to judge or for any of y'all to judge. Y'all have no right to judge that girl, regardless of what decision she made. It is hers. And that is between her and God. And on Judgment Day, she got to be the one to explain that. Nobody else. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of different reasons why all this happened. But the point is, a baby is coming into this world. And all I can say is congratulations to you and your beautiful bundle of joy. And may you and 21 Savage, if it is his baby, have a very, very healthy baby.